Hey guys, welcome back here to the channel. My name's Tom. I talk about all things life as a digital nomad working abroad. Right now, I'm talking to you here from my hotel room here in Da Nang, Vietnam. I've been here for around about the last 5 weeks. It's an awesome place, guys. If you're thinking about starting out as a digital nomad, this would be a really good place to come. I'm connecting a lot here with other like-minded digital nomads. And in this video, guys, today I actually really wanted to give you an idea of what a typical day looks like for me. Just to give you an idea, if you're entertaining the idea of starting this journey, maybe you're unsure what actually it involves, what you need to do. Obviously, just so you know, as a bit of context to this video, I work as a business English language coach for software engineers. Okay, so the service that I provide is coaching programs to help software engineers feel more confident and fluent in workplace situations, things like meetings, presentations, and job interviews. So I've been doing this, guys, now for around about the last 4 years. Built up, I would say, a pretty solid audience, predominantly on LinkedIn, and it's gone really well. And I just want to sort of give you some tips, and as I say, just give you an idea of what a typical day looks like for me. So what I usually do first thing in the morning is I would respond to any messages that I've received on LinkedIn. Perhaps somebody's inquired about my services or something like this. Some messages I would get back to early on in the day. And one of the first things that I usually try and do in the morning, I class this as my admin, is to connect with potential software engineers, people who I think might be interested in my program. So to do that, I've tended to use the premium version of LinkedIn. This is a service called Sales Navigator. It's a paid for service on LinkedIn. It will give you more filters so you can kind of search for your ideal uh, the ideal buyer, I guess, for your services. For me, I'm looking really for kind of like software engineers who have maybe moved to an English speaking country, or they've just changed jobs. And so potentially English could be a priority for them. So what I like to do really is connect with around about 20 to 30 developers each day. Some will accept my LinkedIn connection request, others might not. And for the ones that do accept my connection, what I like to do is then send like a follow-up message maybe a few days later, introducing myself, what I do, and yeah, just to kind of give them an idea of the service that I provide. So I've been doing that really for, I would say, about the last 4 years, really. And it's got to the stage now where I've got an audience of around about 14,000 uh, professional software engineers on LinkedIn. I was previously using Twitter, or now X. I have about 3,000 on there as well, but I haven't found X to be so fruitful in the last year or so. So most of my efforts go into cultivating my LinkedIn profile and basically showcasing that. So that would be one of the first things that I do is the connections. What I then obviously like to do is then send out like a post as well. So one of the things I was always taught starting out on this journey was to be very consistent with the posting, and it's something I do advocate. I really think that in order to build up a loyal following and an audience, you do need to be present. So if you can, I would suggest posting 5 times a week. And I started off in the early days just posting the 3 days. I would just post sort of Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. But I did notice as soon as I started to become even more regular with the posting, that seems to be a good thing. People they sort of learn more about you, and so I'll put posts up on LinkedIn, anything from vocabulary tips to pronunciation tips. Sometimes I'll put out a video as well. Obviously, short form reels are becoming really common now. Even on LinkedIn, the short form content seems to be doing really well now. Other things you can do, you can even put out a poll as well if you want to better understand your audience. That's always a good thing to do. So the posts are good. Also, you can use something like Canva as well to create what we call carousel posts. So this is basically where you can design a short presentation of about 5 or 6 pages, and people can just scroll through that. And occasionally I will put those out as well. And again, it might be tips about how to sound more professional, or the phrases that they can particularly use in their business meetings or presentations. So the posting is something that I would definitely recommend you do. It's, by the way, I'm not so I don't do the commenting so much now, but a lot of people do comment on other people's posts. That's something that you can do again to build more traction, and let people know that you're there. But I haven't been so consistent with the commenting, let's say, in recent months. Maybe it's something I need to be a little bit better at. Uh, Obviously, let's be honest, guys. The idea of the posting and the content creation is for one thing and one thing only. That's to try and get people on calls. Okay, so some people call these discovery calls. Essentially, it's a sales call. Okay, so really, you want to be trying to get your prospects onto a call, or strategy session. Some people call them that as well. But essentially, it's a 30-minute a private call on Zoom or Google Meets where you would meet that person and just find out more about them, explain your services, what you can do for them, and really you want to be trying to get as many people onto those calls as possible in a low friction way. So if sales is something that kind of makes you feel a little bit icky, try and turn it into more of a casual conversation, but obviously still have the structure behind you as well. So try and make sure you're asking lots of questions at the start of the call and their motivation for having the call with you. And then you can talk more about the benefits of your service, or whether or not it's a coaching program, or some type of service that you provide. And obviously, at the end, you would then go on to the price and explain this specifics, and how you would work together. So, yeah, I really typically I normally have about 1 to 2 sales calls a week, and the truth is really is that you need to have a lot of these calls really in order to convert. You're not going to be making sales every single time you have a sales call. I mean, you might do, but I'm yet to find a coach that has 100% strike rate when it comes to sales calls. So you do need to have a lot of these. Some people will not be interested in what you do when they learn about the price or what have you, but you know, thankfully for me, it's gone quite well. And yeah, I've worked with a lot of software engineers in the last 4 years. I did have a sales background though in the past. I used to work in B2B sales for around about the last, prior to going into teaching, for about 8 years. So if you are thinking about becoming a digital nomad, I would say being good at sales and selling your services is really, really key. If you're not confident about doing your sales, practice with someone, practice with a friend or an accountability partner, so you get really clear in your offering, and being really, really able to persuade and convince people that your service would work well for them. Of course, obviously, once you have got some clients or some students, you obviously then need to actually do the teaching or the coaching. So typically I would have anywhere between 8 and 12 students a week at any one time. So how I do it, just so you know, is I provide like a 10-week coaching program where I meet with my students for 1 hour a week. And this is really nice because it doesn't overload you uh, with that particular student. It also means that you can provide and offer lots of sessions during that week. So they're with me for 10 weeks, 1 hour a week. And in those sessions, we'll work on anything from listening skills to pronunciation to vocabulary and then obviously a lot of conversation as well, and encouraging them to improve their fluency and their confidence. So that's how I do it. Obviously, bearing in mind I'm a business English coach, there might well be a few other teachers watching these videos, but I meet lots of people here in Da Nang that are doing all manner of things. A lot of other coaches, by the way, a lot of people that are sort of life coaches or moving more into the spiritual side of things, which is super cool as well. Also, you might be a digital marketer or working more in tech, where you're perhaps maybe a software engineer as well, or a tech professional. So that's hopefully that gives you more of an idea of how it is for me. I like to do most of my admin in the morning or early afternoon, and then right now, because I'm in Vietnam, I tend to do most of my coaching in the evening from around about 6 to 8 o'clock, because of the time difference. Most of my students are either in Latin America or Europe, but predominantly they're in Latin America. So if you like this video and you like this content, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. I'm talking all the time about things, life as a digital nomad, and trying to sort of encourage and inspire people into this field. If it's something you're thinking about, feel free to connect with me on Instagram as well. My the link to that is in the bio of my profile. And as always, stay safe, stay well, and I'll see you in the next video.